to College Pick'em Show. I'm your host, Dustin. This is Logan.
What's up?
Will. And the one and only Preston May.
That's right.
I hope you guys are ready for That's true. That's true. We want to welcome you guys to week 4. Looking forward to some crazy picks this week. Last week, we did okay. We did okay last week. There was definitely some people shooting for the stars. I think I had a bad case of going to the moon. But, hey, the first half looked good. First half looked good. Almost right, but didn't count for anything. Preston had Minnesota. That was the big.
Man, I just wanted to row the boat. That's all I wanted to do.
You wanted to.
I just wanted to row the boat. Okay.
Row it with him, man.
He did what that. Okay.
That's
I don't
good.
know what I was thinking.
Yeah. Well, you never know. You got a dream.
That's college football for you.
Yeah. You're right.
Maybe North Carolina's that good.
All right. So this week we're gonna, in addition to our normal picks, we're gonna have a rapid fire round. Just some additional picks because there's so many good games this week.
Tons.
Wanted to make sure we throw in some of those guys. We're going to keep with our local team, Georgia, because I know we got a lot of local fans here cheering for the Bulldogs. So we'll continue to pick them and then throw in some of these other top 25 picks as well. But we want to welcome to our show. Don't forget, make sure you like, subscribe, and share the feed, whether you're with us on Facebook, whether you're with us on YouTube. We're so glad you're here with us and want to welcome you guys to the show. What do you guys think of the new logo? That's a new addition today. Just uploaded that. So let us know what you think of that in the chat. Crazy news this week. We are over 120 followers on Facebook.
Thank you.
So if you guys give us a follow on Facebook, thank you so much for jumping in on
guys.
the train here. Make sure if you're on YouTube, man, share it, comment, like. That way we can get in the algorithm, get more people liking us on YouTube, following us on YouTube. I know we got Tyler here. YouTube, appreciate him and John holding it down over there. All right, let's see. We got a good comment here. New logo is fire from John Riss. Thanks, man. I like it. Hey, we are going to get to the dumpster fire pick of the week. Will's going to have that in a second. We'll have that segment after the rapid fire. So we'll have the mic just for a second, give his 2 cents on who the dumpster fire of the week is. So looking forward to that segment coming up in just a second. All right, let's get an update. You got the graphic for our updates on who is leading the race here in our picks so far this season. All right, things have gotten a lot closer. We got all 3 of us, me, Logan, Will, tied at 10-5. And then there's this national champ hanging back at 8-7.
Listen, man.
Making things
high hopes, right?
Hey, but you're over 500 this week.
That's right.
So that's improvement. Oh, very good. Looking good up top here. It's been that year. It's been that year in college football this year. Unpredictable. Don't know what's coming next, but I'm hoping we get Preston and continue to be over 500 this year. We'll see.
Yes, sir.
We'll see. You never know. All right. Got another Preston struggling.
Ooh.
Struggle bonus.
Yeah, we'll take it. Hey, you got to struggle to be a champ.
That's right.
Every good champion has to have.
Now, how you start?
He knows about being right.
Right. It's like Preston's golf game. Like not so good at first, but once he gets close to the green, it starts.
It's still bad.
All right. Well, we're gonna jump into these rapid fire picks real quick here. First matchup we have is the University of Alabama Birmingham versus number 1 Georgia Bulldogs. Quick fire, Logan.
Georgia, easy
Oh,
pick.
yes.
All right. Quick rapid fire first.
Oh, my bad.
UAB Georgia.
UAB in Georgia. Let's go
Don't think too hard.
with Georgia.
There you go.
Yeah.
Georgia.
All right. Georgia. We got through that. That was quick. All right. Next one. UCLA versus Utah. Preston.
I'm gonna go. Let's go. I'm going. Utah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sneaky pick. Cam Rising sounds like he's back this week. I'm taking Utah with a defense at home.
Hey, I'm going Utah because they beat the future national champions Florida. Because I mean they're growing, right? They're on the increase. They went from dumpster fire to national champ, Heisman winner, all the ropes.
Wow.
All right, Utah.
Yeah, I agree. Utah.
That's right.
That playing against Florida doesn't look as much of a joke now than they beat Tennessee. Utah.
Utah. All right, now we got number 14, Oregon State versus Washington State coming in number 21. Logan.
Give me the upset. Give me Washington State.
Whoa, bold. All
Known
right.
alumnus who is now in the NFL on the Chiefs. That went to Washington State. Give me the upset.
All right, Will.
I'm going to take Oregon State. D-Day Onyelele is really passing well, and I think the defense is going to take care of business on the road.
All right, Preston.
Man, I'll be honest with you. DJ has looked solid this year. And one of the main things why he went to Oregon State is because they had one of the best offensive lines in the nation. So I'm going Oregon State all the way. DJ, I'm going to give him a top 5 Heisman candidate this year.
Wow.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Wow.
I don't know about that.
Wow.
Clemson.
That's a
Bad pick right there.
We're going to be talking about Clemson a little bit later on the show, but I'll give the transfer from Clemson the nod here. Oregon State with the win for our final pick of the rapid fire round. So let us know what you think of the rapid fires. Give us what your picks would be. I think they covered each and every one of those. So now it's time of the show for the dumpster fire of the week.
Yes,
we have a graphic to share with you guys. It's going to blow your minds. It's like, you look at that. That is quality.
That's a dumpster.
That is a dumpster fire.
I like
right
it.
there. That is good quality stuff right there. So, Wilbur, what is your dumpster fire of the week?
Well, dumpster fire originally comes from my comment week 1 against Florida. I'd like to apologize to Zach. You're a good follower of the show. I don't take my comment back at all. But I do apologize. Y'all had a good week last week, so definitely apologize for that. But my dumpster fire this week actually comes from the Florida game last week. I'm going with Tennessee. Did not look good. They did not look like a top 11 team.
Oof.
The offense struggled. The defense did not look good against. They made Graham Mertz look really, really good. And, I don't think he's a bad quarterback, but I don't think he was that good. So, Tennessee's my dumpster fire of the week.
Wow. Now, do you think it's as much credit to Florida or disappointment to Tennessee last week in the Swamp?
I got to go more disappointment to Tennessee just because, they were riding that high from last year. I really thought that they had a chance to be number 2 in the SEC. And I didn't see it. Joe Milton didn't look on. He looked kind of off. And I think it was more of a disappointment than, good big win for Florida, but I think it was more of a disappointment on Tennessee's end.
Oh, yeah. Well, things are just different in the Swamp, right? That's what we've been told.
It's true.
And we're looking for our dumpster fire fan of the week. So you guys let us know who that is. Vote them in the segment here. Get us a name. We'll put on the dumpster fire fan of the week. Go give them a shout out here on Facebook or YouTube. So that concludes our dumpster fire segment of the week. So thank you so much, Will, for bringing us that energy. Now we're going to get into the nitty gritty of our picks here. We're going to go right into our main picks of the week. We got starting off with number 15, Ole Miss, taking on number 13, unlucky Alabama. Preston, what's your thoughts on this game?
So, Alabama has struggled recently, but I really think they're still trying to find their identity. I think Jalen Milroe will be the quarterback going forward. I think they already announced that. He just brings a dynamic with his legs. He can run the ball. He's fast. He's lightning fast. I think he just needs to get a little more accurate, which means they're going to have to create an offense that works better with his style. So I'm going Alabama. I think they're a stronger team. If we're comparing 5 stars to 5 stars, there's no comparison. So I'm going Alabama all the way. I think they get a better team. Saban will come ready. He's the best coach in the nation. He's won countless national championships. So he's going to show why this week against Ole Miss. Texas is a good team. It's a really good team. And so I think, that game was a tough test right at the beginning of the season. So for me, it's Alabama all the way.
All right, Will?
Alabama's got a 65.8% chance to win this week according to ESPN, and the line is 6.5. And I think Alabama covers that. I think, 7 is a good number. I think they win by a touchdown. I think it'll be back and forth, but I like Bama's defense a little bit more than I like Ole Miss. Ole Miss has looked a little shaky just at times against Tulane. And, early in the Georgia Tech game, I was watching them make a couple mistakes.
They've always been a heavy offensive team, not much defense.
And so, I think Milroe kind of puts it together. The second you start doubting a Saban team is when they prove you wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to doubt them. So I'm going to go Alabama this week against Ole Miss with a touchdown.
I'll let you conclude. Let me get my 2 cents in here. I'll get my pick. I think I think the energy is in the wrong place at Bama right now. I don't think they don't have that national championship energy. And typically when Bama doesn't have that national championship energy, they kind of have like an off, like they have a bad bowl game or they just don't finish the season right. And I kind of see that this is a big game for Alabama. This is a game that they don't want to lose, but I just don't see them coming out and taking the fight to Ole Miss. I really don't. I'm going to pick Ole Miss in this game. I think Ole Miss has got the offense over Alabama. Alabama's defense is excellent. They have a national championship defense. Their offense just isn't there. But I think Lane Kiffin, being a former saving guy, I think he'll be fine. So I'm going to take Ole Miss in this game.
Okay. Crazy stat for Alabama. They haven't lost in September since Lane Kiffin was on staff at Alabama.
Damn.
So, but I think that ends this weekend.
Woo-hoo!
So I think Jackson Dart is a really good quarterback, really good dual threat, leading passer and leading rusher. That's something that you don't really see a lot this late or into the season when week 4. I mean, he's got 213 rushing yards, was only sacked. That's only been sacked like 5 times, I think, on the year. So he's doing really well as a rusher, as a passer. I think they're going to take this one. Alabama bit me when I called them at home against Texas.
Yeah.
So I think Ole Miss takes this one.
Nice.
If you think about it, though, Jackson Dart's their leading rusher as the quarterback, though. So the running game's not there all the way. That's a big.
You got to stop them, though.
Well, let's not knock too hard on the SEC team that can't run the ball. Yeah.
You're fair enough.
Fairly knowledgeable of a team that can run the ball. Yeah.
I mean, when he has 213 yards in 4 games.
Yeah. So when your quarterback's running, you just let him go, man. Let him have it. So, all right. The most unpopular game of the week: number 6 Ohio State versus number 9 Notre Dame. The two teams people love to hate, just because they're two powerhouses, two historic teams. Man, you look at their helmets, you don't even have to put a logo on there. You just know what it is. So Ohio State versus Notre Dame. Logan, give us your thoughts on this ball game.
I think it's going to be a pretty good one. I know we talked about earlier in the season that Ohio State looks a little bit different than they have in years past. We talked about Ohio State being less of a team than Michigan. I think that carries on to this game. They haven't really had a tough test yet. I think Notre Dame's their first test, and it being in Notre Dame is going to make a big difference with Sam Hartman being a really good Heisman front. I don't know if he's a front runner, but he's in the conversation for
He's
sure.
top 3 for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely up there with 13 touchdowns and over 1,000 yards already through 4 weeks for him because they had a week 0 game. But I think Notre Dame can take this one and potentially jump into the top 6, top 5, depending on how the week goes.
Wow, we got a shout out for Matty Bryant for Ohio State.
Maddie, listen, just because you live there, I don't want to hear it, all right?
Her fiance is a Notre Dame fan.
Yeah.
No, Ohio State.
Listen, my wife's a
Whoa.
LSU fan, doesn't mean she likes South Carolina, okay?
That's right.
Stick with your roots, all right?
Yeah. So, Preston, give us a little bit more feedback. Notre Dame, Ohio State, what's your pick?
I like Notre Dame, I really do. It's at home. I like Sam Hartman. He's a Carolina boy. He's grew up in this area. Actually, he grew up in Charleston, I believe, or Myrtle Beach. It's Myrtle Beach. And great quarterback. He came up through Wake Forest, worked his way up. Had a phenomenal year last year. I was kind of hoping Carolina would scoop him up. But that's when we got Spencer Rattler. So it kind of worked out for the best. Their running back, Esteme, I think is what his name is phenomenal. He's already got 521 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns, 63 carries. I think they're a very offensive-heavy team. They're going to come out and show out. Ohio State's solid. They got a bunch of – I think they're actually the number 1 team to have the most 4- and 5-star players in the nation. I think they're young, though. I think they've lost a lot of players in the draft last year. They do have some studs at wide receiver with Harrison Jr., but I still like Notre Dame at home. I'm going Notre Dame.
All right. Here's what I'll say. I think something we learned in the Carolina-Georgia game. I think what kind of shot us in the foot was weather. I know you just got to throw it out there when you lose. So it is.
You can blame it on something.
It's going to be a running game. I think it's going to come down to who can run the ball, who can stop the run. I'm going to give the edge currently to Ohio State just because I feel like they can stop the run and they consistently run the ball better. If it was dry, I think Notre Dame could do it, but we'll see. So.
Not so fast, my friend.
Okay.
Okay, I'll pull the lead course up. I have the stats pulled up right now. Notre Dame's leading rusher has 521 yards and 5
I read that
touchdowns.
backwards.
Ohio State's leading rusher is 191 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Notre Dame's
So-
still has many games.
There you go.
Listen, Notre
Never mind.
Dame's
Flip that, reverse it. Okay. Notre Dame, sorry. There you go. Notre Dame for this game. Because
Okay.
they run the ball.
So you're
Sorry.
taking Notre Dame.
Names.
I
Helmet.
get
There's
your
no logo on the helmet. Okay, it's hard to like differentiate these.
So you're taking Ohio State or
Notre Dame. Notre Dame.
Wow.
For this game. Sorry.
Well,
I'm so
Are
sorry.
we a sweep? Are we a sweep? Are we a table sweep?
We're gonna do it.
here's the deal.
Oh boy.
My soon-to-be brother-in-law is an Ohio State fan.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
My girlfriend, soon-to-be fiance's dad, is an Ohio State fan.
I'm sorry.
They are a 66.1% chance to win. And I just don't care because I'm taking Notre Dame.
Yes.
Defense and rushing win you games, and they clearly have it. And I think they have the better quarterback too. And it's in Notre Dame with the weather. Everything stacks up for a Notre Dame win.
You think
Sorry,
Ohio
Josh.
State should be the dumpster fire this week? You think it'll be the dumpster?
I really hope so. I just wanna give it to Josh.
I don't like the quarterback. I don't.
I hope it's Mississippi State's gonna be the dumpster fire this week. It makes me feel a lot better season. But I don't know. We'll see. I think, like I said, I think running the ball is gonna be the key to this game. So y'all gotta like a live show. We do silly things, make silly errors.
I was really hoping you guys be the only one to take Notre Dame this week. I thought y'all would be on Ohio State.
I've liked Notre Dame all year.
Wow.
I like St. Hartman.
Dang.
Yeah, I think people.
Tyler McNulty, man. Both teams are trash. All right. We'll get to Florida State here in just a second. We will get there. I think we're going to see. Now we got the team everybody can't stop talking about. Number 19, Colorado, taking on number 10, Oregon. Oregon. Done gone and got a Carolina player in Oregon. And I think what's interesting about this, I think obviously Colorado's been the Cinderella story this year. You cannot turn the TV on without seeing Deion Sanders on a commercial.
Yeah.
Deion Sanders doing a highlight. Deion Sanders doing whatever. Like he's gonna have any kind of commercial he wants. I watched a clip today. It was like Florida State. There was another clip about when he was on the Braves and he was talking about bass fishing tournament with John Smoltz. I mean, you just cannot see this team. And you turn on TV, social media. But Cinderella story ends this weekend. Oregon gets the win against Colorado. I know Pastor Roberts, huge Colorado fan, but I think the Ducks get this one. Preston.
Yeah, I mean, Colorado has impressed, honestly. They came out, beat TCU. TCU was in the national championship last year. They came out, they did work against Nebraska, and they took care of business against Colorado State. You know, a lot of emotions flying. That's a late game. Travis Hunter got hurt. I mean, I think the stakes are a little different if Travis Hunter's not hurt because he's a dual threat player on offense and defense.
Yeah.
I think Shedeur Sanders is a great quarterback. I just don't think they have enough defense to stop Oregon. I think it's going to be a better game than what most people expect. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. The ESPN has it 93% going towards Oregon, 6% for Colorado.
21 stat.
I love Deion. I really do. If you haven't seen his 60-minute clip that he had recently about why he does what he does and where he's at with Colorado, and you know his faith has a lot to do with it. So if you haven't seen that, I urge you to watch it. Jump on YouTube and type in Deion 60-minute or whatever it's called, 60-minute clip. Tyler McNulty and John pushed that to me today, so I watched it. So good clip about him and his faith and how it leads him into where most of his decisions are and how he's trying to lead these men, get them out of trouble and trying to set them up for success. So I think he's a great role model. I think he'll recruit well in the future. I think now it's just his time where he's probably going to lose this game. And I wish it wasn't true. I mean, I'm rooting for the guy. So
I think he loses this game and still finish top 10 though.
Yeah.
Just because their schedule, the way it's going to play out.
Once he gets Travis Hunter back, which he'll come back soon, he just has a liver something.
Yeah.
And it's something that self-heals is what I read about today. So he'll be back soon. So he's going to miss USC game too. So anyways, I'm done. Oregon.
Will.
Yeah, 93.9% chance for Oregon to win this week from ESPN. You know, I love a good Cinderella story, but the matchups, the stats just don't add up for me here to take Colorado. They're in Oregon. I think Oregon's the more talented team. I think Bo Nix has kind of put his woes behind him, even though clearly Kirk doesn't think so. But I think he's a different quarterback. Oregon runs the ball better. I think they're the better defensive team because Colorado's defense, I mean, they can get a pick or a fumble here and there, but they're going to allow probably at least 28, 30 points a game. I'm going to take Oregon by 2 touchdowns in this one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, good pick. Logan?
The last thing that you want to do
Yeah.
is count a Deion Sanders
Oh
team
goodness.
out of week 3.
Is Deion Sanders on the field?
Is it prime time?
Can I finish?
Oh.
So, I mean,
My dude to play.
oh my goodness.
Sounds like a dumpster fire.
Go
The
for
last thing you want to do is count a Deion Sanders team out of the game.
it. Okay.
But I think Oregon just got too much for him this week. Been a huge Colorado bandwagon for the past few weeks, but I think it stops here. I think they can still keep going. Like I said at the beginning of the year, I think they still finish really high because they have a really stacked schedule against them. Yeah, but I think Oregon's going to take this one. I mean, Sanders already has 1,200 yards through 3 weeks, so I mean he's going to launch the ball all over the field, just do what he can. But I still don't think they're going to win it with the defense that they have. So Oregon.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say they'll finish under 21. I think they'll be closer to 21, obviously. So I'll say the under on this game. So, all right.
Hey, well, little plug. I want those Deion
Sunglasses? Those are
Oh, man.
sweet, yeah.
Blenders. Blenders is a brand. Hey, if you want to sponsor us, Blenders, I'll rock those shades in a skinny minute. So those things are bad.
I'll put them home when I pick.
I got to find
Blenders eyewear. If you're looking for them, that's where they are. I googled it. So
Yeah, nice. We had a good comment about that, actually. Let me find it. Hold on. I think it was Seth.
Pastor
Can I
Rob.
give a shout out to Seth? Because Seth is hitting us up on Facebook and YouTube.
yes,
That's really
sir.
awesome.
Loyalty.
Yeah, there it is. Go Ducks. There's his comment back there. Prime time having his sunglasses on when the scoreboard lights up. That's definitely a good comment. I like that. I'm gonna put a star on that one. Why
Y'all
not?
like it, yeah.
Absolutely.
What's the name, buddy?
I'm telling you, man.
Black or gold?
Hey,
How much is the Joker?
Yeah, I've seen this.
That's not bad.
$67 for a good pair of
Fire.
sunglasses. I mean, those are pretty sweet.
All right. Christmas present.
Christmas,
Hey, if y'all want to sponsor us, all 4 of us will rock it.
Dude.
Hey, I'll do it. I'll
Hey,
write your name
some
out.
Roback shirts and some Blenders eyewear. Let's do it. Come on, Roback.
John knows Dion. Oh boy, we're about to get jumped.
All
This is
right.
not gonna be good.
I'm saying-
Oh boy. Hey, we'll take Dion on the show.
Hey.
Hey, welcome him. We'll take him.
Phenomenal.
Get us hooked up, John. We'll love to have him on the show.
Weird comment that Saban was like, I really have high respect for Dion as a coach. And when you get that much respect from the king of college football, I think it says a lot about you, not just as like a person and a former player, but as a coach that's like just now stepping into the coaching world.
Yeah.
I think it says a lot. And I think he's still going to be a really good coach
Oh,
whether
yeah.
he wins or loses this game.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. All right, we got an SEC matchup here. 2 teams that are similar. Very people compare us the same. We got Mississippi State taking on South Carolina in Williams-Brice Stadium, 7:30 p.m. Me and Terry are going to the game.
Woo!
Yeah, so I'll be there.
Yes.
Might give you all some live footage from Williams-Brice. So excited about this ball game.
Jealous.
That's huge.
I'm hoping it'll be an enjoyable night. We'll see. So, Logan, I'll let you lead us off on this one, buddy.
All right. Yeah, this is a pretty good bounce back game for South Carolina, especially going to Tennessee next week. I think really weird shout out as well. Alshon Jeffrey's numbers getting retired this weekend. I think that says a lot for the home atmosphere. That's going to do wonders for the crowd. A lot of people might be just coming for that alone. Then being at 7:30, that's another big factor into it. But let's talk about the offense. Our offensive line had a great first half last week. It was completely different for offensive line. Thought we were going to do it against Georgia, and then they just kind of let us down. Spencer would have had a lot better game if they would have played a lot better in the second half. He still looked decent. The 2 picks on his part, I mean, they were his fault, but I mean, when you have half a second to throw the ball, there's not a whole lot that you can do. It really hurts to have Juice Wells hurt again. We really got to get him healthy if we want to do something with the rest of our year. But I think we take this one over Mississippi State. They're said to be the South Carolina of the West, but I think that we're the better South Carolina of the East.
Oh.
So I think South Carolina takes this one by 14 points at least.
All right, Wilbur.
Looking at the projections on ESPN, I think this is the first time I've seen us against an SEC school in a while that we're favored to win.
It's really scary.
And it's
That's
really scary. I
scary.
hate when we're favored to win because it never ends up well. But we're at Williams-Brice. It's that night. Mississippi State did not look good last week, so it makes me feel a little better. We had a good half against Georgia. Mississippi State, fun fact, runs a 3-3-5.
Yeah.
Interesting defense. I think Spencer can pick that apart a little bit. I think with a 3-3-5, maybe we can get the running game going a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that can widen things up for Spencer to throw the ball. So I think. What are you laughing at?
Oh, nothing.
Okay.
Oh, look at that stat, Lord. 75 yards for the year.
Yeah. Leading rusher 75 yards.
Less than 5
Well,
yards a carry.
But, anyways, I'm going to take South Carolina by 17.
Wow.
I'm expecting a big week. And if it's not, then we could very much be the dumpster fire.
This show could be the dumpster fire. Sure. All right, Preston.
Yeah, I mean, Carolina is a bounce back week. We played a great first half. I think we have a lot of momentum coming off that first half. Obviously, the second half was depth in coaching. I really think that's attributed to what happened in the second half against Georgia. Georgia was just better prepared, and open the rain. It made it harder for Spencer to throw it far, for sure. So, I think Spencer Rattler is a quality quarterback. I think he's a 5-star quarterback, obviously coming out of high school. I think he bounces back this week. He said, honestly, he took the L last week and said he put it on his shoulders. He said it was his fault, which I don't think so. But I think he's a leader. He's going to step up. He knows it's time to win. This is a must win for Carolina. If we don't win this game, the season, is downhill, honestly. I mean, we're fighting just to make 500. So that would be very disappointing for the amount of talent we have. We don't have the depth. We have the talent. So we're not going to compete with the Georgias and the high-end teams, but we can compete with the Tennessees and the Kentuckys and the Floridas and the Mississippi States. This is a good test. I think we win. I'll give us 10 points. I think it's going to be close. We can never really blow a team out. It just never happens, as much as we'd love it to. Tennessee was the only exception last year. We blew them out. That was a momentum game, and it just the way it happened with Hooker getting hurt, and we came out and just destroyed Tennessee, and their momentum, kind of ended their season. So I think Mississippi State's a good test. I think we're going to come out. I think we're going to be prepared, and I think Beamer knows that. And I think this is a big test for us. I think a lot of where our program is lies on this game. So tune in. It's going to be a good one. So.
Yeah.
Hey, fun fact: we were 1-2 coming out of the Georgia game at week 3 last year. So anything's possible.
We got a lot to prove. And I think that's
we still could have had 10 wins last year if we had won 2 games that we were supposed to.
Yeah.
That's the story of South Carolina. There's games we should just definitely win and we don't. It's frustrating.
Missouri,
but
Kentucky.
I don't think we lose this one. I think beating in Williams-Brice Stadium, Alshon Jeffrey, a little bit of nostalgia when Shane Beamer's first job was at Mississippi State. That was his first full-time coaching gig. But I think Carolina gets the job done. I think Rattler is just that guy. When you go up against a team that's about level, he will take over a game. And hopefully I think we've learned a lot in these last few weeks about let's rotate some more receivers in. Let's not be so dependent on so many guys. And I think they're going to finally trust Mario Anderson to carry the ball. I hope that happens for us. So I'll take 17. I'm with you on that. I like that. That's a good number. So
here's the bad thing is that it is supposed to rain this week.
Yeah.
And so we have to run the ball. We don't have a choice.
Yeah.
It's kind of like last week's game where we can't throw the ball for 50 attempts. We're going to have to find a running game to win this game.
Yeah.
It's not as big of a game as Georgia, but if we're going to win, that's how we're going to have to do it.
Well, Will's favorite fan of the show, Zach Shank, said Go Gators. So
Hey, I gave him a shout out at the beginning of the show. If he was watching,
you got to go back and watch it. You got to go back and watch this segment, man.
I'm not going to do it again, but I gave it to you at the beginning of the show.
All right, so here we are. We are back at the pick of the week. Now, listen, we started the season talking about we have Carolina goggles. You guys know that we do like the Gamecocks. But we also have a neighbor up north that deserves a little bit of attention because they are taking on a team that most of us have in Final Four. We think that the Seminoles are back. So the game of the week is Florida State versus Clemson. So we have a brand new guest picker. And no, it's not a Florida State fan.
Wow.
It is a Clemson fan. Welcome to the show, Mr. Zach Holley.
All right.
What is up, Zach?
What's up, Zach?
What's happening, fellas?
Man, we're glad you're here with us.
Yeah, good to be here.
Oh, yeah, man. Hey, Zach is diehard Clemson fan. mom and dad have a Clemson orange truck, so it's in the blood, man. They bleed orange and purple. So, Zach, how's it going, man? What you think about Clemson so far this season?
Doing well. Well, things have got a lot better recently. Of course, that Duke game was pretty strange, and we don't have to talk about that. Just the turnovers up there killed us in the red zone. Missed 2 field goals. Can't do this stuff like that and expect to beat anybody. And Duke proved that to us. Had a rough quarter and a half against Charleston Southern, and they really righted the ship in the second half of that one. And then just pure dominance against Florida Atlantic last week. Good to see going into this Florida State matchup.
I know it's kind of interesting. I think we're going to play the compare game between y'all and Georgia with the Florida Atlantic game and see. Well, they're playing Alabama Birmingham, but similar matchup, similar teams. But I think Clemson and Carolina both had similar week 1 stories. I think they both took on 2 North Carolina teams that they thought would be a good matchup and didn't go our way. So we don't talk about week 1. We're moved on past week 1.
Absolutely.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah, that is Bruno. That is our Bruno here in South Carolina. But I think what's interesting is I think Clemson still has a lot of games ahead of them to turn the schedule around. But this week, man, this week is big for Dabo. How hot do you think Dabo's seat is with this game?
Well, you always gotta think that you gotta win, but I mean the recent history is the reason his seat's hot. I mean,
yeah,
you win 2 national championships, and then fans go crazy 3-4 years later if you're not winning every single game anymore. I mean, we've won 10 games every year the last 8 or 9 seasons, and I think he's fine. He's got his way. Players love him. Fans love him. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think he can still put in another 10 years at Clemson and be just fine.
You got a solid coach for sure.
Do you think? I know this is kind of the big thing this year with Clemson. I know Dabo is very heavy on kind of ignoring the transfer portal and kind of sticking with his guys. Do you think he's going to change that mentality, or do you think he's going to stick with it?
Well, I mean, he's definitely going to have to use it at some point for positions. I think linebacker is going to be one next year that we're definitely going to have to go get a guy. But, I mean, he's all in on recruiting and developing. And, I mean, if he can do that, I mean, it's a, 2 or 3 year process. But, I mean, it works out when those guys get developed and start proving it on the field.
That's the thing. I think Clemson, for the most part, hangs on to their guys. I don't think they're losing guys year in, year out.
Not much transfer out of Clemson.
Right.
Yeah, and again, it's a 3-4 year process. I mean, you don't have to go find guys every single year, and I think that's what it's going to get to be. You're going to have guys that are hit or miss, and then one and done's just like college basketball.
Yeah, I agree. I hope they do something with it. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what the fix is going to be with the NIL, with the transfer portal, but
they're going to have to.
I think some restrictions are going to have to come up.
Almost like a cap. You get a cap of $10 million per team or something like that. I mean, you're going to have to, because if not, the richest team wins every year, and that's what it comes down to. And so they're going to have to fix it somehow. So
Well, I think that's the thing. There's no accountability with these NIL deals. They're like, oh yeah, they're affiliated with the college, but it's like, okay, we got this oil company in Texas that's affiliated with the college, and we got Bojangles at Columbia. It's like, it's not.
That's how you see Texas go from a top 25 team to a top 5 team.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. With Steve Sarkisian, I mean, the guy couldn't keep a job in Washington, couldn't keep a job in Alabama. I mean, it just explains everything. So the richest team will win. So
yeah. Something's gotta happen. I think we gotta get over this COVID protocol stuff and get things back to normal somewhat, but
sure.
Hey, we were advantage of it 2 years ago. Last year we didn't do anything with transfer portal, so this is where it bites you in the butt for Carolina. But Clemson's recruited well, and I think they'll hold on for a good rest of the season. But Zach, we're gonna go ahead and get our picks here on the table, then we'll come back to you. So just hold tight. Preston, pick on this game.
Man, I didn't want to be first because I'm still in the air right now. I mean, jeez.
You can pass. This
no, I mean, well, let's do this, okay? I like both teams. I really do. I think Florida State is a solid team. I think they have the components to be a top 14 playoff team. Last week was a little bit of a struggle. Not sure where that came from against Boston College. I know there's a lot of momentum, a lot of hype, and a lot of stuff with Boston College going on last week. But, you have those games, which it happens. I think Clemson has bounced back. One thing that worries me is just the Duke loss. I mean, it makes me question things. So I don't know where to lean.
I think you have a best friend status on the line.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I told everybody from the get-go, I'm not picking because of who, when, where, why. I'm picking what's right. And I think what's right, I'll stick with the experts. The experts said it's Florida State. I'll stick with Florida State. So I think it's a close game. I think it's a battle. I also think Clemson can win this, absolutely. I think it comes down to turnovers. Whoever receives the most turnovers, interceptions, fumbles, that's who will win the game. So it's almost a 50-50 pick for me, but I'm going to lean towards Florida State.
I think that's the thing with both these teams. They've both shown they can hold on to the ball.
Right.
They've both shown that they can turn the ball over. So it's kind of hard to know which team is which in this game.
I like Shipley. I think he's a downhill Christian McCaffrey 2.0, catch and run kind of guy. He's my favorite player out there, I think. So between the two teams, I like Shipley the best. So we'll see. We'll see who steps up and makes plays. So we'll see.
All right. Tyler liked the pick. So I think he'll be happy.
I got you.
Yeah, Tyler.
Hey, shout out Tyler's brother played for Florida State when they won the national championship. So his brother has a championship ring. So kind of legit.
That is true. That is true. All right, Logan.
Well, I think this is kind of like a Georgia-Carolina game for Clemson. Like it's kind of like an uphill battle for them. I think it's going to be similar to that game. I think Clemson will have really good high points in the game, but I think they'll also kind of go back to the low points. I think Florida State's going to take this one. If Clemson is going to have a chance, Will Shipley's got to get in the end zone. He hasn't done that yet. He's going to get rolling in the touchdown area. But Jordan Travis is a pretty good quarterback, man. He's got 739 yards on the year, 8 touchdowns, only 1 interception. So I think Florida State's going to take this one. John, if you're watching, Florida State's going to take it.
Oh, wow. Man. All right. Goodness gracious. We got 2 Florida State picks, so we haven't even gotten to the meat of it here. All right. Wilbur, I'm going to let you go, man.
I think it's redemption week for John this week because I think I'll go Florida State.
Oh, my stars.
Listen,
To the moon.
I don't think I was gonna take Florida State in a blowout, but the weather's looking rough. It looks like it's gonna rain. I think the running game favors Clemson a little bit more with Shipley, so I think it'll be a 10-point game. But I'm really riding the Florida State hype train right now. I had it in my Final Four, even though I had them losing week 1. But they won, and they're 3-0. So I'm going to take Florida State in this one, rolling 10 points or so. Sorry, Zach. I mean, I would love to pick Clemson.
You don't.
With this matchup, I don't see it.
I'm not sorry, Zach. Sorry.
I don't want to see either team win, to be honest. But
Did you see Phillips' comment?
I did. I showed it.
He said your shirt looks kind of
For the record, go ahead for the record. This is not an orange shirt, okay? It's not an orange shirt.
It's fuchsia.
Damn it. All right.
Fuchsia.
Being the guy that has no orange material in his house, I know I'm supposed to pick Florida State here. Here's the thing. It's in the other Death Valley.
Yeah.
Noon kick. I think Clemson's 25 wins in a row versus ACC opponents at home. That's insane. That's crazy. Clemson, I think, going into last year at home, had a huge winning streak. And then the boys in Garnet Black rolled in.
My God.
And made things happen.
Hey, man.
Florida State, I have them in the playoff picture. And this pick is not something I'm very confident in. But here's what I'll say. Clemson at home is hard to pick against.
Yeah, I agree.
It's hard to pick against.
It's true.
We could all be wrong.
We could all be wrong. Well, y'all could be wrong. No, I'm just kidding. I'm picking Florida State. I'm picking Florida State in this game. I have them in the playoff picture. I think Clemson's going to keep it close. I do think it's going to be 3 points, 6 points. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any teams because neither one of these teams I feel like has reached their
Here's the thing.
potential.
With that being that close, is Clemson a top 5 team? Think about that. If we have Florida State a top 14, we have this game so close.
Yeah.
It's Clemson that
Well,
good
I think
team as well.
I think both these
I
teams
think
have
so,
so
yeah.
much to prove.
Right.
I think Florida State has the advantage of having the 3 wins.
Right.
They could very easily be where Clemson.
LSU's a good win. That's a
Right.
good win. Yeah.
And they got it early.
Right. Good quality win.
But LSU looked really good last week.
Yeah, LSU's actually picked to win the West. So
Man.
and win the SEC because Georgia's weak. So
there we go.
that's it.
We got Billy Holley coming in. Clemson high 82.5. Is that 5%? 82.5 or 5%? Okay, good. Beautiful day, Will. We'll take it. All right. Beautiful day in Clemson. Now, if you're not from here, most people think that we mispronounce the word Clemson. Like they're like, there's no P in the name. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There's no P. But it's Clemson.
I'll be Clemson.
So like that's one of those random things.
I didn't even thought about that.
I know. Nobody thinks about it until you're like, wait, what in the world? But Zach, I need you to twist our arm, figure out a way to pitch Clemson winning this ballgame.
Well, y'all said everything that everybody else has said.
Yeah.
Everybody's picking against Clemson, and rightly so. Florida State's come out and looked really good. Dominated LSU. Kind of got away from them late, LSU, in that game, but on the scoreboard, domination. And then did what they supposed to do with the 2 lesser opponents. But, Clemson's got to come out. They can't run the ball. I think Florida State's going to key in on that run game and make Klubnik do it through the air. And that goes back to everything that's wrong with Clemson right now is a wide receiver position.
Sure.
Somebody's got to step up. Bo Collins, Tyler Brown, Antonio Williams, Adam Randall, one of them's got to do it. Both, all 4 of those guys have looked good in the last couple of weeks. Getting the reps that you should against, lesser opponents. Florida State's got a great running back. They're going to throw it to him out of the backfield, and Clemson's had trouble stopping that. I think he scored a touchdown the last time they were in Clemson on a little swing pass. They call him LT. Florida State, I guess, has to have their own LT.
Yeah, you're right.
Wide receiver position for Florida State, they got 2 monsters, a 6'4" guy, 6'7" guy. So if Clemson don't get pressure on Travis, it's going to be a free for all throwing the ball.
Right.
But I think Clemson's defense will do good. I think they'll match up well. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. The kicking game for Clemson is atrocious right now. Dabo went out and got a kid that was taking online graduate school classes and brought him back. He had already been on the team, gave it up last year, brought him back, and he's going to throw him out there in an environment that it's probably pretty nerve-wracking. But we'll see what happens. Got to take advantage of field goals if we get that chance.
Yeah. Hey, worked well with us with quarterback a few years ago.
I'm going to throw a plug out there, Shane Beamer. I'm 36. I got 1 year eligibility left. I'm solid. I will throw on some pads, and I guarantee you I can block at least one person. I guarantee you.
What?
I can kick him in the knee. I can do whatever. I kick him in the ankle. I can block somebody.
You need a dirty player.
Hey, come
Right.
get me, all right? Come get me.
You can just get in the way.
NIL money because I got a family to feed.
Just stand in the way. You'll be better than what they got.
That's right. That's right. Hey, listen, 6'4", 280. I got this.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think Clemson's front 7 is that's their DNA. Good grief. If there's anybody in college football that consistently has a decent front 7, it's Clemson.
Yeah.
So I think they got to show out this week.
Yeah, Klubnik's a solid quarterback. I think he's proven that. He just the tangibles have got to be there. The wide receivers got to step up, and I think the team's come together a lot more in recent weeks. So I think that's why this game will be close. I think it comes down to turnovers, and it is a home game for Clemson. So I'm kind of excited to watch it and see who wins. So I think it can go either way. I really do. I think it's a very, very close game, which says a lot for Clemson because we're all picked Florida State to be a top 4 team. So and Clemson's always good. Dabo's a good coach. So well, hopefully Carolina will be there one day. We're creeping. We're creeping. Hopefully we'll get better this year, and next year will be our year with Lenore. So We'll see.
We'll see. Well, man, Zach, thanks so much for jumping in on
Well, I
this.
gotta make my pick now. You haven't actually
perspective.
got my pick.
Hey, whoa,
Sorry. Back to the pick. We gotta get your official pick. Zach.
I mean, I know everybody assumes, what's going to be
I'll say.
happening here, but
That's true.
7 days ago, I think everybody in the world thought Florida State would come up here and clean up and just dominate Clemson. They went to Boston College and gave everybody a little hope. I think that's going to put fans in the stadium, thinking that we've got a chance. And
right.
Picking these games, you always want to go with your gut. Florida State's a tough opponent, and I'm gonna go with Florida State.
Whoa.
If this game was anywhere but Death Valley, South Carolina.
Wow.
There's going to be 80,000 Clemson fans out there, and they're going to make the difference in this game, and Clemson wins 27-24.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
We thought you were about to get kicked out of your house forever.
Oh, no.
That was gut-wrenching.
I said, don't do it, Zach. Don't do it.
That's good.
12th man's going to make the difference this week.
What's that, Zach? Say again?
12th man's going to make the difference this week. It's going to be on the fans.
All right.
Hey, that's very much a true statement. So I think Carolina helps Carolina win. It's just the home atmosphere that we bring. So
Yeah, very good. All right, man. Solid pick, Zach. Solid twist. I was there.
I was scared for you, man.
I was nervous.
I was nervous.
Started praying, huh?
Yeah. Mama, no. I was just kidding.
We lost our whole fan base.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, Zach. Well, thanks so much for joining with us. Thanks for tuning in.
All right.
Tune in next week. Tell your friends to watch the show, man.
Oh, yeah. Go Tigers.
Yeah, boy.
That's right.
Go Tottenham. All right,
On your Spurs.
All right, man. What do you guys think of the show? Man, we get some love to Clemson. I think we respect
Much
them
deserved.
so much. This is the game. This is a big game. Florida State Clemson, big game. A lot to prove on both sides. Florida State did not look good last week.
Listen, I hope they all lose. I hope every top 5 team gets an L. You know why? Because that shakes everything up. Michigan get a loss, Ohio State get a loss, Florida State get a loss, and that just makes things that much tougher for the board. To pick up a top 4 team. So
it's gonna be a sloppy year. I mean, I think a 2-loss team gets to the playoff.
Possibly.
I mean, I really do. This is one of those years. I feel like there's a lot of even matchups. There's
not one team that's like, oh, that's the team.
Can we just be honest for a second? Okay. Georgia, they might have another loss in the season.
That could be the dumpster fire of the year.
That
could be.
If we had a shot and held them 3 points and a half, that's a worrying sign for Georgia.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. You don't know. This season's kind of crazy. So I'll take it. I love college football. I love the craziness of what comes week to week. I know I have some friends that are NFL diehard fans. They're like, you know what's going to happen every week.
I'll take college all day.
Man, college football every single day of the week. We
There's
love
a lot of innocence in it. There's no money time. I mean, there's some money, but it's they're playing for their school. They're playing to get to that next level. There's a lot involved in college football, so that's why I love it so much. So.
Kathy Holley, go Tigers! Another shout out there. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Shane Beamer, come get me.
Miss
1 year old.
Miss Gloria's got the Dion shades on and her emoji. I like
Wow.
it. Shout out to Dion. Very good.
We all have Dion shades on next week.
Oh, man.
That's right. Blenders Eyewear.
If
Sponsor
they
us.
Yeah.
Roback Activewear. I love me some Roback stuff. So sponsor us.
Absolutely.
So.
All right. If you are still on the show, please do me a favor. Right now, in the comment section, go in the share button and share right now. Share it with your friends so they know what's going on. If you're on YouTube, please make sure you share this with everybody else. Man, I think we are growing. We're trying to do things better for you guys. This is a fan show. We want to make sure we get your feedback.
Absolutely.
If there's a game you want us to pick, leave us a comment, send us a message. We'd love to pick for you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for sticking with us. We averaged over 20 live viewers the entire feed, so that's pretty awesome.
Thank you guys.
Man, keep tuning in week to week. Love having you guys. Thank you, Zach, for coming with us. Looking forward to a new guest picker next week.
The mullet was legit.
The mullet is
I wish I could grow one.
Oh, yeah.
My wife wouldn't. She wouldn't out.
No.
She would
Not
have
at all. All right, well, we're signing off, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Don't forget, like, share, comment, subscribe. See
Hit
you
us up on
guys.
YouTube.
YouTube.
We need to YouTube to get going. Hit us
That's
up on YouTube.
Hey, 1 second. We got a comment here. UK over Vandy or this pick show is invalid. All right, let's go ahead and pick this one. We're just
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire, quick pick here. Logan.
Maybe G.
Oh, I actually don't know.
This
This
is
is
a
a tough one.
Oh, come on. You don't know.
Gosh, man, I don't know.
You
man.
know Kentucky's ranked they're power ranked the number 5 team in the SEC.
Dude, Vandy just lost the Wake Forest. This is a no-brainer.
This is not.
You get that.
Yeah, Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Oh, stop it! Without he's over here wearing Vandy colors.
The
Come on.
true SEC.
I'm going with the calling arms.
Oh, no.
No. Oh, goodness. All
They might have lost twice.
Shake it up, baby. Let's
right.
go. It's SEC. Anything can
If
happen.
they're the true dumpster fire in the SEC, it's Vandy.
Vanderbilt.
I just wanted to pick Vanderbilt one time this week.
The punching bag of the SEC. Poor Vandy, but hey, we can lose to them. You never know. That's all good. All right, well, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Y'all have a great weekend. Go college football.
Absolutely.
All right, so excited. You have a great week. Thanks for tuning in.